We use the most advanced AI engine in sports media to simulate the impossible. Tyreek Hill, the NFL's fastest weapon. IShowSpeed, biggest streamer in the world. 2 defenders, 1 epic race. And for this debate, we've got Stephen A. Smith defending Tyreek Hill and Usain Bolt backing IShowSpeed. The stage is set. Let's race.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin with some clarity, some unapologetic, undeniable truth. This ain't a video game. This ain't TikTok. This is reality. And in reality, Tyreek Hill is one of the fastest human beings alive, period. You think you could get up off your gaming chair, toss on some cleats, and go toe-to-toe with the Cheetah? We are talking about a man who ran a 4.29 at the NFL Combine. That is certified. That is laser time. That is speed in the upper 1% of the planet Earth. The same man who's reached 22.6 miles per hour in pads. You want to know how fast that is? That's Olympic sprinter speed in a helmet and shoulder pads. And we're supposed to believe IShowSpeed, a streamer and entertainer, is going to challenge that level of speed? Please. Tyreek Hill ain't just fast. He's football fast. He's reactive. He's explosive. He's sudden. He's sustained. And you can't teach that kind of kinetic violence, that first step fury. He's been timed, tracked, and verified across game speed, track speed, and flatline sprinting. So yes, speed can race former athletes. He can beat RG3 in a fun run. But Tyreek Hill, that man is a different species. That's a cheetah in a world of deer.
Stephen A., I respect your fire. I do. But let's not confuse resume with potential. I've watched IShowSpeed. I've studied his gait, his burst, his attitude. And let me tell you something. That kid has raw, uncut, untapped speed. No, he didn't come through track academies. He wasn't raised in Olympic cycles. But you can't deny explosiveness when you see it. That boy moves. His fast twitch is real. And more than that, he's got the hunger. You want to talk about Tyreek Hill's combine time? That was years ago. IShowSpeed is out here racing ex-D1 athletes, former Olympians, NFL veterans like Robert Griffin III. And he's winning. Now imagine this, and I'm dead serious. Give me 6 months with him, just 6 months. We fix his posture. We adjust his stride length. We train his starts. We clean up his transition phase. And then we unleash him. That kid has the potential to shock the world. He's fearless. That counts for something. Speed ain't just numbers. It's intent. And that boy runs like he's chasing destiny.
Oh, I'm sorry. 6 months with Usain Bolt is going to turn a content creator into a world-class sprinter? Is that what we're doing now? This is delusion, Bolt. You think because he's got 20 million followers and a few viral races that he belongs on the same track as Tyreek Hill? We are not talking about potential. We are talking about execution. Tyreek Hill has been executing at the highest level of sport for over a decade. You know what separates the elite from the rest? It's not just talent. It's repetition under pressure. Tyreek has been training, competing, and producing under the brightest lights every single year. Super Bowl runs, all-pro nods, game-winning touchdowns, clocked in real time by NFL Next Gen stats. IShowSpeed, the kid hyperventilates mid-race. You gonna coach that out of him too, Bolt? You gonna train his lungs and his lungs alone? Let's stop this fantasy.
Let me ask you this then, Stephen. Who was Tyreek Hill before coaching, before training, before the combine? He was raw too. He needed polish. He needed people to believe in him. I'm not saying speed beats Tyreek tomorrow. I'm saying don't underestimate a kid with no fear. That's what got me gold medals. Not just speed, but the mindset. And I see that mindset in him. He's not afraid to lose. He wants to smoke. And that tells me he's wired like a real competitor. You can teach technique. You can improve form, but you can't teach that kind of drive. And speed's got it. I don't care if it's from the hood or from Hollywood. Speed is speed and potential is potential. And what I see in this kid, I know I can turn that into something world-class.
That's cute, but we ain't in a Disney movie. Let's not forget. Tyreek Hill has track pedigree. Man was clocking 10.19 in high school. You know what that is? elite sprinter time. Speed don't have that, not even close. You can't compare viral energy to verified excellence. Tyreek's been on that laser time, block start, curve runner system since he was 16. That ain't something you catch up to on YouTube. So give me the man who's been built for this since birth, not the one who got famous for barking at a football.
But that's exactly it, Stephen. You're focused on where they've been. I'm focused on where he could go. Tyreek is phenomenal, no denying it. But he's in his 30s. He's been carrying NFL mileage for years. His window is closing. Speed, he's just getting started. His body's fresh, his motor's untouched, his ceiling still unknown. And let's not pretend Speed's just a clown. He's competed. He's raced serious athletes. He's won, and he's not stopping. He's training. He's hungry. And with the right tools, the right guidance, he could do something insane. I ain't saying he's Usain Bolt, but he could be faster than you think. Fast enough to push Tyreek to his limit, maybe even beat him if the stars align.
All right, fine. I'll concede this. The kid's got guts. I'll give him that. He steps up to challenges, and you can't teach that kind of boldness. But guts alone won't get you across the line faster than Tyreek Hill. We need to talk about race IQ. Knowing when to lean, when to burst, how to maintain form. Tyreek doesn't just run fast. He runs smart, efficient, explosive, and composed. That's what makes him deadly. Speed is still all arms and adrenaline. He flails. He burns out. He lacks pacing. And let's be real. You've seen him gasp for air post-race like he just finished a marathon. You want to train that out of him in 6 months too? Come on, Bolt.
Yes, I do. Because I've seen worse. I've trained guys who couldn't keep up right past 40 meters. But with proper mechanics, with explosive face focus, they turn into different runners. And don't get it twisted. Speed's not flailing because he's unfit. He's flailing because no one's ever trained him properly. He's like a racehorse running in circles on a backyard track. You give him lanes, you give him strategy, you control that energy, and now you've got something serious. Let's stop pretending raw athleticism doesn't deserve a chance. You gave Tyreek his, give Speed his.
Look, here's my issue. This entire argument depends on possibility, not reality. The reality is Tyreek Hill has earned his stripes. We're talking Olympic alternate level speed plus game impact plus a resume that includes championships. I'm not going to disrespect that just because Speed got a couple viral clips. You want to prove it? Get on the track. Real race. Lasers. Blocks. Let's see it. But don't sell me dreams, Bo. Don't tell me because he's got views, he's got victories. This is elite level sport, not content.
Fair. But this isn't about content. It's about hope. It's about the spark. And I believe in that spark. I believe Speed can give Tyreek a scare. And with the right training, maybe more than that.
While the tension cools down, take a moment to check out the highlight reels from both contenders. Tyreek Hill, the NFL blur who leaves defenders in the dust, and IShowSpeed, the viral sprinter who just might be faster than you think. After these highlight reels, we jump in right back to the second half of the debate.
And he's out in 5, Hampton in 4. Hill.
All right, let me tell you something right now. This is not some fantasy TikTok matchup. This is real competition we're talking about. This is speed at the highest level, and it's not just about running fast. It's about knowing how to run fast under pressure. Tyreek Hill, the man is not just quick. He's a sprinter built in a football player's body. Explosiveness, form, control, vision, poise, all of it. This ain't a guy who just runs fast in a straight line. This is a man who's been clocked at 23.24 miles per hour during an NFL game in pads, dodging defenders. Think about that. You put that man on the track, no chaos, no shoulder pads, no tackling, he's flying. Now listen, IShowSpeed is entertaining. I'll give you that. He brings energy, heart, charisma, all of that. But that's not going to get you past physics. That's not going to teach you starting block technique. That's not going to get your hip alignment right or your knee drive or your contact time with the ground. Tyreek has been building that for over a decade. You don't just roll out of bed and beat that.
Stephen A., I hear you, I really do. I've seen Tyreek run. The man is fast, no argument. But greatness is about seeing potential others don't. That's what coaches do. That's what I did as an athlete, and that's what I see in speed. Let me break this down. You talk about knee drive, ground contact time. I've seen speed improve those. You talk about biomechanics. This kid's form is already changing. You compare his races from last year to now, he's more compact, more centered. His stride is longer, his arms are tighter. That doesn't come from just being a YouTuber. That comes from work. And it's not just physical, it's mental. You know how hard it is to keep showing up when millions of people are waiting for you to fail? When you know the minute you trip or slip or fall short, they'll roast you online for days. Speed lives with that every day. And yet he keeps training, keeps improving, keeps believing. You can't coach that fire, but you can shape it. And with someone like me in his corner, that fire becomes precision.
Fire's not enough. Fire without structure, it burns out fast. Let me bring this back to reality. You know what separates guys like Tyreek from the rest? It's consistency under tension. It's the ability to execute with milliseconds on the clock and people trying to hit you. It's knowing how to breathe properly through your nose at top speed. It's muscle twitch fibers, type 2X to be exact, firing with perfect timing because you've trained them since you were a teenager. Tyreek's been sharpening that sword for years. Combine drills, 60-yard dashes, short burst footwork, strength to weight ratio analysis. The man's body has been engineered for explosiveness. Now you put speed next to that, sure, he might get off the line quick, but what happens at the 30-meter mark when form breaks down? When oxygen debt kicks in, when his hamstrings tighten and his shoulders rise and he loses stride efficiency, that's where the race ends. Not in the first 5 seconds, but in the moment when the greats hold their form and the pretenders break down.
You're right. That's the moment where it's decided. But that's also the moment where people rise. You think I didn't have doubters when I was young? People laughed at my stride, said I was too tall to explode off the block, said my start was weak. But I learned, I trained, I worked until my weakness became my weapon. Speed can do the same. He already has the hardest part, explosive acceleration. Most sprinters don't have that naturally. But this kid, he's dangerous in the first 20 meters. That's why people are paying attention. You give me 12 weeks with him, and I'm talking proper sprint intervals, overspeed training, resisted sprints, and mobility work, and I promise you, he'll run damn close to Tyreek. Now, will he win? That's not what I'm promising. But to say it's impossible? Nah, Stephen A., that's not how speed works. Sometimes belief bends physics. Sometimes hunger beats science.
Belief ain't enough when you're 3 steps behind Bolt. This is the NFL's most feared speedster we're talking about. The man has broken defensive coverages with ease, the fastest GPS times in NFL history. He's done this under pressure, under contact, at full fatigue. That kind of functional speed is rare. And let's not forget, he did track. He knows blocks, he knows transition mechanics, he ran against sprinters and football players, and he still stood out. So I respect Speed's grind. But if this is a 100-meter race, give me Tyreek. If it's a 40-yard dash, give me Tyreek with the blindfold on. He's that far ahead.
You know what, Stephen A.? I love that energy. I do. But don't confuse fame for finality. Tyreek is famous, Tyreek is elite. But this conversation, this debate is happening because deep down, people believe in the impossible. Speed might not have medals. He might not have a trophy case, but he's got something different. He's got the streets, he's got the youth, he's got the fire to prove everybody wrong. That kind of pressure, that kind of chip on your shoulder, sometimes it creates miracles.
Listen. I've been patient, but let me bring this home in a way that everybody understands. Speed ain't built for this. You see him dancing on live streams, jumping into kiddie pools, shouting at video games, and now we're supposed to believe he's going to step on a track, go toe-to-toe with a man who spent his life optimizing every inch of his body for world-class speed? Come on, man. This ain't anime. This is athletics. We are talking about a man, Tyreek Hill, whose every twitch fiber is trained to explode, extend, and maintain velocity. He's not just fast. He's been measured fast by NFL's next-gen stats, laser gates, and GPS monitoring. That 22.6 miles per hour clocking, that's legit. That's verified. We've got data to back it. Speed, still no official sprint time. No verified 40-yard, no 100-meter trial. Just a bunch of handheld timers and edited clips. You tell me, are we debating hype or are we debating reality?
We're debating potential, Stephen, and potential is the most dangerous thing in sport. Let me remind you, I came out of Trelawney, Jamaica, a skinny teenager with an awkward frame and no Olympic training system behind me. Nobody expected me to do what I did, but I believed, my coach believed, and I transformed the game. Speed is raw, yes, but raw isn't a weakness. It's untapped energy. You keep saying no verified times, but the kids out there every week chasing challenges, racing athletes, doing explosive drills, diving into competition. And what impresses me most is how he handles failure. He trips, he laughs and comes back harder. He loses, he trains harder the next week. That's not a gimmick. That's the mindset of a future sprinter. And mindset, brother, is what keeps you running when your legs don't want to move anymore.
You telling me mindset closes a 4-second gap? Come on, Usain. I respect you. You're the greatest to ever touch a track. But even you know, at the highest level, the margins are everything. Tyreek Hill doesn't just run. He dominates angles. His cuts, his ability to reach top end speed in 13 yards, that's rare. That's deadly. That's what separates elite athletes from viral moments. We've seen fast guys before. Remember John Ross? 4.2240? That's burner speed. You know where he is now? Forgotten. Because speed alone ain't enough. Tyreek pairs speed with awareness, agility, game IQ. He's consistent. Speed, as of today, isn't. That's why this whole idea that he could win a race against Tyreek, it ain't just bold. It's borderline delusional.
And that's where we differ, Stephen, because delusion is the birthplace of greatness. You think every young athlete starts with structure? No, they start with dreams. They start with one moment where the world doubts them, and they answer. IShowSpeed already has explosiveness. He's shown glimpses of that top-end gear. Now imagine applying sprint mechanics. Imagine fixed block starts. Imagine 300-meter tempo workouts, short to long periodization cycles, contrast training. This kid is already pushing 20 miles per hour, untrained, unrefined, raw, and yet dangerous. What happens when he's refined? You say Tyreek's top-end speed hits 23.2. I say speed within 6 months of sprint work gets to 21.5. That's within striking distance. And sometimes all it takes to win a race is to catch somebody slipping.
Let me tell you something, and I want the whole world to hear me right now. Tyreek Hill is not slipping. That man eats pressure for breakfast. You think Speed's fans allowed? Try silencing Arrowhead Stadium with 13 seconds on the clock. Try burning all pro corners while triple covered. Try keeping your feet while guys the size of refrigerators try to end your season. This dude lives for chaos. He doesn't run scared, he runs free. Speed's biggest challenge wouldn't be Tyreek's start, it would be Tyreek's finish. Because when that cheetah opens up, ain't nobody catching him. And no offense, not even a young lion like Speed.
And yet, it's always the lions that surprise you, Stephen A. You think just because a man hasn't climbed the mountain, he can't? That's dangerous thinking. That's what leads to upsets. That's what fuels every underdog story you've ever watched. Speed may not win this race today or tomorrow, but give him time, give him belief. He won't just race Tyreek, he'll beat him. And he'll do it in front of the whole world.
Let me ask you something. You're saying legacy matters, right? Because I don't want people to walk away from this thinking we just watched a hype train roll through town with no brakes. Tyreek Hill has earned his reputation, not just with 40-yard dashes, not just with laser times. He's earned it in high-stakes arenas against elite athletes with careers on the line. This is a man who's broken NFL defensive schemes with speed alone. You can't teach that. You can't simulate that. And you definitely can't replicate that on a live stream with ring lights and jump cuts. Tyreek has done it when it counts. Speed, he's doing it for clicks. Respect the grind, yes. Applaud the hustle, but don't mistake viral for vital.
And that's the exact reason why speed matters right now, Stephen, because this isn't just about legacy, it's about possibility. The kid lit a fire in the culture. He made millions of kids believe that anyone, anywhere can chase speed. You don't need scouts. You don't need combine invites. What you need is a camera, a dream, and the courage to fall on your face in public and come back swinging. You talk about Tyreek being elite, and he is. But elite becomes legendary when you inspire. And right now, speed's inspiring a generation that doesn't even know what a three-point stance is. That's power. That's impact. And that's why this conversation exists at all.
And I respect that, but let's get something straight. Just because the story is inspirational don't mean the result changes. Tyreek wins this race. Not maybe, not could, not with a little more training. He wins, period. You give speed a few more years, great. I'll watch, I'll cheer. But right now, right here, on the track, under the gun, with thousands watching, there's only one blower crossing that line first. And his name is Tyreek Hill.
Then I say this, Tyreek might win today, but speed is just getting started. He's not chasing one race. He's chasing respect. He's chasing growth. He's chasing something nobody thought he'd even attempt. And if that doesn't make him dangerous, I don't know what does.
And that is the finish line. Two champions of perspective, two visions of speed, one unforgettable debate. Is Tyreek Hill untouchable, the peak of explosive athleticism? Or is IShowSpeed the wild card with destiny on his side? The choice is yours. Let us know in the comments who you think would win the race. Would speed shock the world? Or would Tyreek leave him in the dust? Hit like, drop your take, and subscribe for more AI-powered showdowns. Until next time, keep running toward the impossible.